Good afternoon to all. My name is Ananda of grade 8.
And my name is Vivek of grade 8.
So our topic for today is trees of neighborhood or trees of South Bangalore. There is an increasing recognition of Bangalore for its diverse trees and botanical gardens. There are many botanical gardens in India and in Bangalore, such as Lal Bagh, which I have mapped out in this project. There are 16 trees that are mapped out from Lal Bagh, and there are many lists of benefits that are provided by trees that are present in the neighborhood. Tree-lined neighborhoods provide aesthetic beauty for the opening of the road, and then it also provides many benefits like reduction in asthma levels and a better ventilation of the area. It also reduces stress levels and ensures to add a beauty and essence of its own.
Now I'll be talking about the objective of the study. Objective of the study is to map the trees in the southern Bangalore. Documentation. Create a database of tree species in southern Bangalore, including their locations, characteristics, and their ecological rules. Analysis. Study the distribution of biodiversity of Bangalore's urban forests. Awareness. Spread awareness about the importance of trees through education programs and community involvement. Conservation. Develop strategies for the conservation of trees.
Materials and methods. We have used many materials such as the material to calculate the tree's height, and methods are we have used Wiki-how to calculate the tree's height and find out average of 60 trees per 60 trees and the girth of per 60 trees. So if we need to find out the height of a tree, we need to calculate the tree's height, and with the numbers we write down, we should have 3 numbers written down. Our height, the height of the shadow of the tree, and then our shadow's height, including the half of the trunk of the tree, which is basically the girth. We can use this equation to find out the tree's height.
Recommendations. Students should be encouraged to take part in planting trees. Field trip visits with reducing reach help replenish green cover. Students must be taken to places with deforestation or any form of natural experiment to make them understand what is actually happening around us. And trees can be also planted in open areas near us.
Results and discussion. Through this project, we found out that per 60 trees, the average height will be 3.5 to 4.7 meters, and the average tree trunk girth will be 18 to 25 centimeters. This graph here shows the reducing of green cover in Bangalore in 2004, and we have sourced it out from IISC. This map shows the various, the blue ticks in the map show the various mappings that we have done and the various places we have found out the trees from. These are the various trees documented. This has the common name of the tree, the scientific name, and if it is native or non-native, medicinal properties, and average height. From this we got to know the average height of the tree per 60 trees. And these are the trees that were documented in Lal Bagh. It has the botanical name and the native and the family. Conclusion. Land use analysis shows that the spatial extent of tree vegetation in Bangalore is 100.02 km, which is 14.08%, and the total number of trees in Bangalore is about 1478,412. This is documented in 2004, and this is also sourced from IISC. The references we have used is the document Trees of Bangalore from IISC and Wikipedia, IISC resources, and document Prominent Trees of Bangalore, which is also from IISC, and Google Earth, and we've used the latitude, longitude of same Google, Wiki-how, and Botanical Trees of Bangalore, which is the book.
You went to field.
Yeah.
Went to Lal Bagh. That's the only way. Where do you stay?
I stay in Ramaneshwari.
You could have done here also survey.
I have done it in my ward and represent the Lal Bagh, Madibada Lake, HSR layout, and
present the data ward wise, okay? Lal Bagh separately, this one separately, like that. Okay. Second thing is, you should also give this one, whether it's an endemic tree, that kind of thing, or whether it's an exotic tree, you know, because people will know the difference between endemic and exotic trees. Exotic means from other countries it has been planted. There are health issues, etc. And that you have given is 25 centimeter. How
yeah,
is that?
18 to 25 centimeter is the
You measured?
yeah.
Hey, 18 to 25 centimeter will not be a tree, man. It has to be 30 centimeter. If a girth exceeds 30 centimeter, a diameter 10 centimeter, then only we call that sapling as a tree. You check, because there are big trees are also there. Huh? Some mistake is there. Please check. And your word you just label all the trees. Find out what kind of thing, and also see on the tree whether any nest is there, bird nest, what kind of insects come. Then you can give the linkages, you know. If a tree is there, how it is beneficial in pollination, seed dispersal, etc. Okay.
See, you have made modifications to the format that is there. You presented recommendations even before you spoke about results. Then, why have you taken average of the tree height?
To show like what is the average tree height found in southern part of Bangalore.
So, won't it matter if, the time of plantation also matters, right? How would you correlate that with this?
No, there are some young plants are there, juvenile, some are old trees are there, no? How do you make out that? That's what is question. If you take average, no, it will remove. See, suppose in your house, no, if there is a LKG student and if there is another fellow doing BSc, if you take average, what will happen? You will say both are high school students.
Okay, and also references are missing, so please add the references.
You did the different ward data. Now you have the different ward data that plants.
Yeah.
Then you should bring that one.
And also you should put it in a map. We taught you how to do the mapping, no? You were there in the earlier lecture, no? Were you there? And then you should do that, no? We showed, Tulika showed how to do the mapping, no? GPS camera and all, she said, no?
We have done it.
We have done it.
Yeah, in this one.
Then
This is one of them, and then
This is just a
this is
screenshot.
yeah.
Mapping, she showed now how to draw polygons and all. This is just you labeled it, okay?
Check the video once. You check the video once. Then
We will put this also, your presentation also online. You can check that, okay? Tulika's presentation also we will keep it.
ward wise you should give the trees data. Then which ward has the higher number also. That will come under the result part.
And also the analysis part, like in the table you explained how many are native, not native, right? That you can maybe graphically showcase it. And also similarly for the medicinal properties, how many of them have medicinal properties you can showcase.
in the trees I have documented, all of them have the medicinal properties.
Very good. But that was not highlighted in your presentation. So you have to highlight that.
See, after you prepare a slide, no, you should show it to your teacher. Okay?
Thank you.
Have you shown it to teacher? Was there an evaluation in the school?
There was no
Huh?
evaluation.
There was no evaluation. I had said in the last event, no, that school has to do the evaluation. Your teachers are there?
The students today, so I told them to change it. The changes were not important.
Anyway, I'll discuss about it after the huh?
All the best. Whenever you're ready.
Good morning, everyone. I am Iman
And I cover.
from 9th grade, and we're here to present our topic for the Day Conference 2024 to 2025, Net Zero Consumption and Net Zero Emission in Presidency School Planners. To introduce our topic, fossil fuels play a big role in energy production, but fossil fuels create carbon dioxide, which causes global warming, which causes so many problems like ocean acidification, disruption of natural systems, and so much more. That's why we need renewable sources of energy. Continue.
What happened? Go to the previous one.
Before we continue, we would like to quote the quote from Mahatma Gandhi. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Continue. This is a project about how we are trying to reduce the usage of fossil fuel energy in our school and gradually change to renewable sources of energy. We had seen that a lot of schools have promote these renewable energy sources as topics, but they themselves were utilizing. So instead of setting an example, we wanted to calculate its benefits and spread awareness about it, starting from our own school. The topic itself is vast and it could save a lot of money for people who utilize this alternate source of energy. So what are the objectives of this project? So we aim to discuss the potential of renewable energy in our school and calculate average return on investment and savings rates. We wanted to highlight the possibility of achieving net zero emission and consumption of electricity in our school. To the methods and methods, firstly, this is our study area. This is a render of our original Presidency for Bangalore, which we mark. Secondly, the monthly bills or monthly electricity bills of Presidency for Bangalore. This data was obtained from SITESER, and the average monthly bill of our school is 1,54,836 rupees, or for convenience of calculation, 1,55,000 rupees. And then we move on to the monthly electricity consumption. This data was again obtained from SITESER. The average monthly consumption of our school is 12,045.92 kWh, or for convenience of calculation, 12,000 kWh. We are assuming the consumption of September, October, November, and December should be 12,500 kWh. The yearly consumption is 2,58,867.48 kWh. Thirdly is the rooftop area of our school. We use Google to get an estimate of our school's rooftop, as you can see in the image on the right. The area is 2,137.46 meters. Now we go on to the results of discussion. What are the problems that we're facing? Sir,
You're asking.
did you want to ask? So on the pie chart on the top, you can see that India uses 59.34% of coal in its energy production. On the second graph, you can see the electricity generation from coal, which has been measured in terawatt hours. In the third slide, we're able to see the annual carbon dioxide emissions from coal. So now, when we use these graphs, we're able to divide the carbon dioxide emissions by the electricity generated to reproduce on the graph, which is the carbon dioxide emissions from coal in kilograms per kilowatt hour of electricity, as you can see in the graph shown here. Therefore, our school will sir.
What is the purpose of this? The division?
Sir, so that we are converting the units from terawatt hour.
In the previous slide, we get the carbon dioxide emissions from coal, and in this one, we get the electricity generation from coal. So to understand the carbon dioxide emissions per electricity generation, we divide these two the values to get in the annual carbon dioxide emissions in tons per terawatt hour. We converted this into kilograms per kilowatt hour. So we got the graph on the next slide. This is the carbon dioxide emissions from coal in kilograms per kilowatt hour of electricity, which shows that around 1.4 in 2022,
around 1.4 kilograms of carbon dioxide were produced per kilowatt hour of electricity in India on average.
Therefore, our school consuming an average of 258,000 kilowatt hour of electricity per year has a 59.34% chance that it is indirectly producing an average of 3,47,805.94 kilograms of carbon dioxide annually. As I said, 59.34% chance because of the fact that India uses 59.34% of coal, therefore the chance, which is a substantial amount. So imagine the cumulative emissions of tens and millions of households in India.
Now we come to the solutions. The main thing which our school can do is install solar panels. Our school's roof has a maximum capacity to install around 213 kilowatts of solar capacity, according to the PM Surya Ghar Yojana calculator, but we can achieve our needs at just 103 kilowatts. The estimated cost of this project would be tremendous, 41,20,000 rupees. Yes, 41,20,000 rupees. But we can cut the cost by applying a subsidy of rupees 78,000 to bring the cost down to rupees 40,42,000 to install solar panels. Now, from the Global Solar Atlas, we have obtained the photovoltaic power output potential of our school, as you can see in the right hand. The annual averages of power output potential of our school is 159,809 kilowatt hours per year and 438 kilowatt hours per day. The graph at the bottom shows the photovoltaic power output potential of all the months, the highest being February and the lowest being July. The last graph, the most important one in our case, shows the average RE profiles. The rows are basically the Rs and the values are the electricity which we can generate from them in these months. The sum at the bottom shows the daily power output of these months. This is basically the table explained as a graph. Now, to calculate the average monthly bill and the return on investment, we created a comprehensive table. But before I dive into the table, I want to explain the three parts of an electricity bill. Number one, there is the fixed demand charges, which are constant for every slab. Number two, there is the variable charges depending on the kilowatt hours consumed. And number three is the tax on the whole thing. Now, coming to the table, we assume that all the electricity bills arrive at the end of each month, and that the solar panels are installed in August, but they start producing electricity from September. So as you can see, because there are no solar panels in August yet, we can see that there are no kilowatt hours produced per day, and hence no cost saved. Okay, the net money spent keeps on decreasing as the months progress. The net money spent, the minus indicates a loss. In September 2027, we can see that the loss becomes zero and eventually turns into a profit. These are the references which we have used. We have explained most of them. So these are the results of our calculation. The solar plant capacity, as we have explained, is 103 kilowatts, and the investment is 40,42,000 rupees. The average monthly bill before the installation is 1,55,000 rupees, but after the installation it drops to just around 500 rupees. The average monthly savings is 1,54,520 rupees, which is a huge amount monthly savings. The number of years it takes to recover the investment of 40,42,000 rupees is just 2.1 years, and the time it takes to recover the investment, including the electricity bill, is 3 years. The return on investment in 5 years, the percentage, including the electricity bills, is 165%, which shows the great profit that our school can get. The graph over here shows the production, usage and consumption of our school in kilowatt hours. In some months, like February and March, when the production is greater than the consumption, we can see that there is an excess and we can sell the electricity to Westcom. We are assuming that the price at which we sell it is the same as the price at which we buy the electricity. The second graph shows the comparison of electricity bill before and after installation. Before installation, we can see that the rates are skyrocketing, but after installation, it has dropped down drastically and even becomes negative, which means we get a profit. The carbon dioxide emissions in the school are very high. As we use this data from what Leon explained, around 1.4 kilograms are generated per kilowatt hour of electricity. So before the installation, the carbon dioxide emissions are high, but after installation they drop and almost become zero. The last one shows the net loss of profit. After 3 years, we can begin making a profit. So these are our recommendations. As we have shown, the profit our school can gain is tremendous. By installing a greater capacity of solar panels, we can even achieve net zero. But we will have to keep the connection to BESCOM active to safeguard against the varying loads of electricity produced. Our carbon dioxide emissions would reduce drastically and even become zero for a few months. Thus, we recommend our school to install these panels and spread the message to other schools and buildings like ours about this profitable investment. But there are a few things to keep in mind. Schools face many challenges in adopting these solar panels. The main one is the high cost, as we have seen in our school also. It is 40,42,000 rupees, which many schools won't be able to afford. But as we have shown with the example of our school, even with the high initial cost, this is a profitable investment. Countless homes, schools and office buildings can benefit by installing these solar panels. As the world is grappling with rising pollution levels, let us do our small bit which can make a huge difference to save the world. This project wouldn't have been possible without the unwavering support from Indumati ma'am and the guidance from Bilekahalli sir. We also thank Sir for providing us with the necessary bills to conduct our research. These are the references which we have used: the Global Solar Atlas, Google, Niti Aayog, Our World in Data, and the PM Surya Initiative. Thank you.
See, your title is net zero and emission in PSPS.
Yeah, as in the indirect emission of carbon dioxide. It's indirectly.
So because we're using
You have not captured all the emissions. You assumed only emission happens with electricity. What about your transport, your buses, your cooking, and your dress? Has a high energy footprint. Is it account all those things? And why do you assume the institution doesn't have money?
it's not that simple. Because it of the high cost we're just
It's not high for the engineer.
But exactly.
It is not a high thing.
Yeah,
Because
it's-
some other schools have got the benefit of
Yeah, but some schools, like not all of them, some schools will have
You are
different.
talking about your school, no?
Yeah.
In your school, some is there, no?
No, we can't afford it.
You can. You have to convince your administration. And I didn't understand your this one, roof area versus electricity, the installation. What is the thing? How did you assume that?
So
That
we use
roof
Google
area thing, can you go? How did you? Roof area is.
So follow.
You got 2137 square meters.
So this
How
is
did you
from
assume that
Google.
you get that?
So
We use Google Earth to create a polygon. Like
No,
this
this
is
area
not.
understood. Sir is asking, how did you convert this into
Sir,
electricity
we
generation?
use the
We use the PM Surya Yojana. They had a
So
calculator
they have a
which
calculator.
calculated how much kilowatts we can install in the school.
Okay, what is that conversion?
We are not sure, sir.
That is not correct, no? As a student, you should know.
But
Then
they
it
are
is a
not.
copy paste, no? If that fellow has done a mistake, how will you know that?
as in the calculation in the website itself, it shows till 10.
Yeah, till 10
Till
kilowatt.
10 kilowatt.
It shows the.
So we did the.
We did all the calculations
Fair
except
enough.
the cost.
For 10 kilowatt, what should be the roof area? You did the conversion, you said, no?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, for 10 kilowatt, what is the this one roof area required?
We don't want to keep it.
We should see that, okay? As a student, no? You should be inquisitive, you should pose question, okay? Some part is good, but some part you have to think and do that, okay? It's a good thing, but try to capture this one and don't assume that institution is not. You are showing the net zero benefits. The responsibility is there on the shoulder, no? They are running so many vehicles, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
See, when you start speaking, then people will adapt because in some of the schools it has happened. They have implemented, for example, Vagdevi. After our visit, they implemented solar. And today they say they are making profit of 22,000 per month after using the electricity of their school. You understood? That means because of my visit, our visit, no, they are getting 22,000 additional, one visit. Okay?
Sir, we will done.
First of all, Vihan, good morning.
Good afternoon.
Okay, next, your map should contain all the components which Sulika ma'am had explained. It's missing some components, so please add that. Then, where you explained about energy from coal, right? Why did you consider coal and not hydroelectricity or any other form of electricity?
Sir, because it's the most polluting. That's it.
Because coal generates the most carbon dioxide emissions. And things like hydroelectricity.
See, actually, hydro as a methane. Global warming potential of methane is 25 times higher than carbon. CO2. Huh? You understood?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Note it down and then make this thing.
And you should take that proportion. How? See, in Karnataka, what portion of our electricity comes from coal? What percentage from hydro? Then take that proportion to assume this CO2 footprint, okay? And for the hydro, you have to assume that global warming potential of 25.
Yes, sir.
Then towards the end, you made a statement about if school can generate so much of electricity, how much, or emissions, sorry, how much emissions would be there for households. So don't compare schools with households. Schools with other similar institutions, you can say. And number of schools in Bangalore itself is not very good.
No, you take Presidency only, east, north, south, and thing.
All
Then
your
you
branches.
make a comparative thing. That would be good. Huh?
Yes,
See,
sir.
because Presidency East was showed a lot of interest to come for the late symposium. When they came to know you are here, they dropped off.
So happy to
The way he is laughing is okay, good.
Okay, and in the
But,
solutions, please mention
This
things.
conversion you have to be careful. Okay, calculation what you have done now.
Yes, sir.
Please use Excel sheet and do that. And you should know that. Okay, if you have a 1 kilowatt solar panel, how much electricity you can generate? How many units of electricity? If you know that, no, then reversing the calculation is easy. Then you are saying that you can also feed it to the grid. You know what happens? When I take the electricity from the grid, I am paying 8 rupees at home. But when I am giving the electricity to the grid, I am given only 2 rupees 54 paisa from the solar energy. Okay, there is something called net metering. If I have used 200 units, if I have generated 300, 200 units I don't have to pay anything. 100 units I have to pay 8 rupees.
I have one suggestion like that you please avoid the unnecessary part. Please focus on your project. Then you please work on your PPT once more with your respective teacher, and in the whatever sir is told, no, it will come under the method part. Okay. Then introduction also, you please bring out that the emission and consumption in India or Karnataka base. Then it will be more effective. Okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Manasvi Kapoor. Grade 9 in Presidency School, Bangalore, sir. I'm here to present my topic. My project topic is pollution parameters and monitoring of wetlands. And so
It is
Mouse.
mouse.
This is the mouse.
You just press left thing, left button, it will move forward.
wait.
Otherwise, you can use.
So we'll be into a little bit history first. And let's see what are wetlands. A wetland is a place in which the land is covered by water, salt, fresh or somewhere in between, either seasonally or permanently, as said by the World Wildlife Fund or WWF. Areas of marsh or fen, peatland or water, whether artificial or natural, permanent or temporary, with the water that is static or flowing fresh, brackish or salt, including areas of marine water, the depth of which at low tide does not exceed 6 meters. This is said by the Ramsar Convention. So let's see why are wetlands important. Wetlands provide us drinking water, not all obviously. Some freshwater sources, some lakes or ponds, they provide us good drinking water. It is a great source for irrigation. It is a groundwater discharges, climate here, it is a base of biodiversity, fish and shellfish production, and it of course helps in transport. Now let's see what is causing pollution in wetlands. Groundwater depletion, depreciation of water quality, which is caused by the wastewater that is flowing from industrial areas or from domestic sewage, or generally people dropping garbage in wetlands, and deforestation in the surrounding areas of
Okay,
wetlands.
next time when you are doing presentation, please don't have mobile in your hand. Okay, use a hard copy of the thing like other students. Keep the mobile aside and speak.
This PPT is not updated, such a updated PPT.
No, whatever it is not. You should not be a slave to technology. Okay. See, other children who come from other schools, no, they will feel the thing. You should understand that. Affordability is not the same for every child. Please keep it aside and give a presentation in the slide, whatever you are.
The extinction of native biota is also caused by wetlands, and of course I spoke about industrial discharges. Now let me give an introduction. My choice of wetland is lakes. Lakes are crucial ecosystems that provide water, recreational opportunities, and habitats for wildlife. This presentation covers key water quality parameters used to evaluate pollution in lakes and its effects. My study area is Maniwala Lake. This has been done with Google Earth, the mapping of Maniwala Lake. And now we have the physiochemical parameters used for testing water quality. All of these methods have not been. I have done the testing of lead, copper, and chromium. And in nutrients we have sulfide, chlorine, nitrate, and fluoride. And we have of course measured hardness, alkalinity, pH, and temperature. Now let's look into the specifics of each water quality parameter. Temperature affects the solubility of gases in water and the metabolic rates of aquatic organisms. Warmer temperatures can increase oxygen levels and promote harmful algal blooms. Now we have the pH level. pH measures the acidity or alkalinity of water. Most aquatic organisms thrive in neutral or slightly alkaline range. The pH according to PSI, the standard one, is 6.5 to 8.5 in Indian lakes. Extreme pH levels, which is more than 8.5, can cause harm to aquatic life, increase the acidic range, and affect the alkalinity of the lake. Regular pH monitoring is therefore required for recording acid rain effects. Now we have the nutrients. We have nitrates, nitrites, and all that. In aquatic ecosystems, nitrogen exists in various forms, including nitrate, which is NO3, and nitrites, NO2. Nitrogen is critical for phytoplankton and macrophyte growth in freshwater and marine environments. Monitoring nitrogen levels in water bodies is crucial for assessing water quality. Elevated nitrogen concentrations can indicate pollution and eutrophication. Now we have sulfide and fluoride. Sulfide is a naturally occurring mineral in many water sources. It is accepted in some countries, but it is better if sulfide is not present in water. It contributes to the overall mineral content, which can be beneficial health for sure. Now we have fluoride. Fluoride is primarily added to drinking water in sewage systems to prevent tooth decay. And water fluoridation is considered one of the most effective public health measures, but not too much as it can affect the water quality. Now we have metals, which is lead and chromium. Lead is a highly toxic metal that can cause severe health problems. Lead usually comes from the plumbing systems, inlets and outlets of lake. If the lake plumbing systems are not monitored, lead enters the lake, which can cause many problems, and the drinking water in the lake is not fit anymore. That happens in Maniwala Lake too. And chromium. Chromium exists in several forms. With the hexavalent chromium CR6, which I have monitored, being particularly toxic and carcinogenic. Exposure to high levels of this type of chromium has been associated with various health issues, including lung cancer and serious health effects. Now we have hardness and total alkalinity. Hardness is the measure of the amount of dissolved calcium and magnesium salts in water. High hardness indicates a high level of pollution, hence it is an important physical factor in terms of water quality testing. Now we have the last one, that is total alkalinity. Alkalinity of water refers to the water's capacity to neutralize sewage or anything flowing from industries. Now, my sample collection method, the samples were collected in PET water sampling bottles from the center of the lake. Let me go back. Now, my sample testing method, temperature was done using on-site using a temperature thermometer, which was dipped in the water to get the on-site temperature. TDS or total dissolved solids was done on-site using a TDS meter. Total hardness was done by EDTA trigonometric method. The chemicals used are ammonium buffer solution, EDTA and erichrome black tea as an indicator. And calcium hardness is also done by EDTA trigonometric method. The chemicals required are EDTA, NaOH solution and neuroxide as an indicator. The magnesium hardness was measured by minusing the calcium hardness from the total hardness. Now, let me tell you about the results of the physiochemical water analysis. We have lead, which is present in 20 milligram per liter, and the standard is 0.001 according to EPA. So, clearly it's very high in Madhibala Lake and is concerning because according to Madhibala Lake, they are regularly monitoring their lake's health, but yeah, we can clearly see that. Now we have copper. There's a total of 0.2 mg per liter copper in Madhibala Lake, and the standard is 0.05 to 1.5 according to PSI. So this is not much concerning since there is no copper deposits. We have chromium. 2 mg per liter chromium deposits were found in Madhibala Lake, where the standard is 0.05 according to PSI. So we can see there is a high amount of metals which makes the Madhibala water unfit for drinking. We have sulfate, 0 mg per liter sulfate was found. Chloride is also 0. And we have a total of 10 mg per liter nitrate in the Madhibala Lake water. And the standard is 45 to 100 mg per liter according to PSI. Now let's go to the hardness. Hardness is 250 mg per liter, and it is 200. The standard is 300 to 600 according to PSI. The pH is 6.8, which is slightly basic according to PSI. The standard is 6.5 to 8.5. The alkalinity is 150, which is very low because the standard is 200 to 600 according to PSI. And the temperature range between 26.3 degrees Celsius to 29.8 degrees Celsius. And the total dissolved solids is 345, and the standard is 500 to 2000 according to PSI. Now we have the Madhibala Lake observations. The bulk of domestic sewage and wastewater coming in from industries have caused a major influence on water quality levels. Even after the water has been treated by the sewage system, nitrate levels remain high, due to which there is a rise in phytoplankton numbers. Higher levels of lead and chromium suggest the contamination of water due to industrial and domestic wastewater. The low levels of alkalinity make it prone to water pollution and rapid change in pH levels. This clearly indicates Madhibala water is not fit for drinking and needs immediate monitoring. These are the references which I have used. I have also used IISC research papers. Thank you.
Next time when you do presentation, in addition to PPT, don't use anything else. Please keep
Sir, my lab results make me
today is fine, but the next time I am going to
sure.
some prepared according to that. It is super.
Why the temperature varies 2 by 26.3
I have
to
measured in 3
29.8.
days. So the
Huh?
third, I have measured temperature in 3 different days. Weekly measurement.
Then
So-
why then other values are only one?
No, other values have
parameters
remained constant.
Huh?
Other values have remained constant.
Constant.
Yes.
Then how many samples you collected?
3 days I collected 3 samples. But weekly I went.
You did the experiment properly. That is
We are
how
monitoring the Madhibala Lake. In fact, they are growing. But there is no constant as you claim.
I mean, constant as in there is no major difference. between 1 plus 10 and
Major difference is different.
Then total alkalinity there is written as a 0.
No, but in the lab we found that it's not.
Huh?
In the lab, which my teachers have tested, we found it's not.
Anyway, please work on your PPT once more. Okay.
Yeah, yes,
Another thing that Madiwala Lake, you just showing that one study area that you map on it. Because now you are near to Madiwala Lake, your study area is Madiwala Lake, that's why you can understand where is the Madiwala Lake. Otherwise, we have put it in the, you are in the conference, then you should write Madiwala Lake location, then what is the area of that particular Madiwala Lake, that latitude, longitude, everything you should be. Okay? Don't put like that.
Okay.
Please include all the things.
Yes.
You were there in the initial session, no? That the Bilekahalli
Yeah.
explained
Yes.
how to use the GPS and all those things.
Yeah. Yes.
Then another thing you are talk about that different parameters also.
Yeah.
But then you wanted to read like that, then you please include that each sentence where you take that reference you should do. Otherwise, it's okay. Then materials and methods also, you please put it properly. What method for iron, then alkalinity and all the things. No, that you just reading now, but it is in the heavy metal. What are the method you are
I
using?
did my tests. The results came a bit late. That's why
Yeah, no. In the future, you should add this all.
Stick to the format. It is interchange, so please stick to the format. It becomes easy for you to present the data. Okay. Then I think you can rethink on the title, because in the title generally you have mentioned wetlands, but you are specifically working on Madiwala Lake. Right, so you can mention pollution in Madiwala Lake itself. Okay. Then towards the end you said it's not fit for drinking, so it can be used for other purposes.
no, it cannot because it's unhealthy. If you use it for other purposes,
Right now, how is it affecting the human population?
it's not being used by.
Fish people are eating. Your heavy metal goes to fish.
See, you were focused only on the drinking water part,
Yes.
but the macrophytes from there are taken to livestock to feed them. So when they eat that and we take the milk from them, the contamination follows. Same way for the fish.
Yes.
So all these aspects you can think about.
So
Once again, Aparna has.
No, some suggestions. So after introduction, you can add a slide on wetland ecosystem services. Ecosystem services, the services what all a wetland provides, that you can add. And on first slide itself, you mentioned Ramsar Convention. That is Ramsar Convention Secretary 2016. It is a full format of that citation. It is missing actually. That yeah. Thank you.
I am studying in Presidency School, Bangalore South, and currently in grade 9. My topic for the day, or for the past 2 months, has been deforestation of the Western Ghats. And the particular area of my study is Bilekahalli in Tamil Nadu. So, the table contains what is going to us. So, our problem statement would be deforestation in the Western Ghats, leading to climatic variations, increasing carbon dioxide in the natural world, and loss of biodiversity. Now, this slide gives us a basic idea of Western Ghats, as it is a wonderful topic to research about. We have 4 main reasons that the Western Ghats is a biodiversity hotspot, and it's globally recognized. It has rich flora and fauna, and has a massive biodiversity. About 5,000 flowering plants, 580 birds, 139 mammals, 179 amphibian species, cold-blooded vertebrate animals, and we have the extent of deforestation. So studies have revealed that concerning loss of forest cover and trees is something to take note of, something to go against. And the endangered species in this locality, many species are losing displacing their homes due to various reasons, and mainly human activities. If this continues, we can see that Western Ghats won't be a biodiversity hotspot anymore. And then we have the ecological impact, soil erosion, loss of biodiversity due to human activities, and many more. Next, we go to understanding deforestation in the Western Ghats. So, we'll start off with the agricultural expansion. Agricultural practices lead to significant forest change, impacting biodiversity, urbanization effects, increasing urban areas touching forest land, destroying habitat, infrastructure development, roads and buildings fragment ecosystems, complicating wildlife movements. Ecological consequences. Loss of forest cover reduces wildlife habitats and affects water sources. Ecotourism potential. Sustainable tourism can promote conservation and provide economic benefits. Carbon sequestration. What is the critical role in carbon storage? Helping mitigate climate change. Next, we look at the impact of deforestation on carbon sequestration. Carbon sequestration capacity is reduced by 37% in this year due to deforestation and climate change. An annual loss of 4.5 billion incurred in the ecotourism sector of Western Ghats due to decreased forest cover. And deforestation rate in Western Ghats increased by 25% in the last decade, leading to habitat loss and decreased biodiversity. And the average temperature in the Western Ghats has risen by 3.8 degrees Celsius. So this chart shows the average minimum temperature. So now, if you see these spikes,
Use the mouse on the phone.
so these spikes here are due to the loss of forest cover. And from 2004, during the end of 2004, this is because due to the implementation of different conservation acts. This is the average maximum temperature, and it's the same reason as follows. And in the end, you see the spikes are not as high. From 2002 onwards, the spikes are not as high. Same conservation. Next, we learned that ecotourism is a sustainable alternative. How? In 2018, ecotourism projects in Karnataka and Kerala began to combat deforestation. The CM of Karnataka is issued 150 crore for this project. In 2020, there was a beginning of carbon sequestration methods in the Western Ghats, and by 2021, the implementation of that successfully began. In Jan 2023, the publication of case studies showing the economic benefits of ecotourism was also released. And by 2024, challenges were identified and roundabouts had started being implemented. Next, we move on to the implementation of ecotourism initiatives. So first let's look at the part under the iceberg on the hard work. First, we have ecological footprint reduction, implementing practices like waste management, energy efficiency, and biodiversity conservation helps minimize the negative impact of tourism on the environment. Then we have partnerships and collaboration. Collaboration with local organizations, government bodies, NGOs strengthens the implementation of ecotourism initiatives and supports long-term sustainability goals. Education and awareness. Educating tourists and local communities about the importance of conservation and carbon sequestration fosters a culture of environmental responsibility and promotes sustainable behaviors. Then we have monitoring and evaluation. Establishing monitoring mechanisms to track the impact of ecotourism activities on the environment in local communities ensures accountability and allows for continuous improvement. Next, we move on to the outcomes segment. We have community participation. It is always healthy and appreciated, involving local communities in decision-making processes and tourism activities leads to a sense of ownership and responsibility towards preserving natural resources. Then we have equitable benefits, ensuring that benefits from ecotourism ventures are distributed fairly among community members, enhances their support, and incentivizes sustainable practices. Next, we move on to deforestation programs in the Western Ghats. So this slide is a program that I want to implement when I grow up. So it's called the White Carbon Program, and it's an initiative focused on restoring native species and increasing carbon sequestration in the Western Ghats. And then the restoration goals for this initiative would be to combat deforestation by setting targets to deforest specific areas and protect biodiversity. And the methodologies we will use would be sustainable planting techniques and community involvement. Next, we will look at the impact of ecotourism in Western Ghats. We have economic benefits, which are tourism generates income for local communities through jobs in hospitality, etc. We have conservation funding. Revenue from tourism can support conservation efforts and the protection of natural habitats, awareness and education. Visitors often gain a greater appreciation for the environment and the need for conservation. Resource strain. Tourism can strain local resources including water and energy. Higher visitor numbers may lead to the overall use of these resources. And we move on to one of the most important subtopics, carbon sequestration. So, we will learn the process of carbon sequestration in these simple 4 ways. Mainly, carbon sequestration is a way to store carbon in soil or remains of plants, etc. So, first we have carbon dioxide emissions. We humans always find a way to pollute the environment, be it in everyday life, maybe some other circumstances. But basically, CO2 is released into the atmosphere from various sources. Example, burning of fossil fuels. Then, capture of CO2 is implemented, which would be plants and trees absorb CO2 through photosynthesis. Marine environments also play a role. Phytoplankton absorbs CO2 and converting it to organic matter. Then we have transport. In natural systems, carbon is transported to the food chain or as organic matter. Example, dead plants to soils or ocean. Storage. Forests and wetlands. Carbon is stored in plant biomass, roots, stems, leaves, and soil. Now, what is the potential of carbon sequestration? We have carbon sink, where the Western Ghats plays a pivotal role and is a wonderful forest which allows for massive amounts of carbon sequestration. When trees are cut, we can see that the CO2 is released. So deforestation and carbon emissions take place. And so then in the last one, quantifying carbon sequestration, you can see the overall capacity of Western Ghats. And so these papers were taken by Sir TVRAMACHANDra, so I would like to thank you. And next we have strategies for carbon sequestration. So we have 3 major subtopics, right? So we have reforestation initiatives, sustainable land use practices, carbon market opportunities, having afforestation programs as I talked before, native species restoration, community engagement, and in sustainable land use practices we have agroforestry models, forest protection measures, and policy intervention. Next, in carbon market opportunities, we have carbon offsetting, we have economic incentives, we have public-private partnerships. The challenges and the future direction. So we have this slide here, rich biodiversity, potential for ecotourism, national carbon sink. We have the weakness, illegal logging, habitat fragmentation, wildlife displacement. We have the opportunity, which is growing ecotourism demand, sustainable development, initiatives, climate trading opportunities, and the threats being climate change impacts, land use change, policy. Final slide. The call to action. So we have now come to the end of the final checkpoint. The point where we have realized how important carbon sequestration and ecotourism are in Western Ghats. So, but let us find another habitable planet, but we should not leave our planet. It is our home and let's not let it down. Thank you all, have a wonderful day.
What do you mean by ecotourism? What do you mean by ecotourism?
So it's when tourists come to, when they come to the forest, when they come to roam around, they should not destroy the forest. They should leave behind the forest the way it was when they came in. There should be no change except the benefits that happen.
a presentation by students. Just make a request to all.
Yes.
Do it, do it.
Don't talk.
Not like that. Properly you tell. Here only. Don't go.
Students of grade 9 of PSBS, please don't talk during other presentation. It distracts them. It's not a good indicator.
Okay.
You talk about the Western Ghats. Okay. That I never seen the Western Ghats in your slide.
She wants to know where is Western Ghats.
It's parallel to the Malabar coast in India.
Please, that introduction, that slide, no, there is some spaces there. In that you can put it.
Here.
Introduction.
And your definition of deforestation?
So
What is the definition of deforestation?
cutting down of trees on a large scale, which could increase.
But you showed from 2004 things are changing. It's improving.
Yes, sir. From this point, you can see that the deforestation rate has reduced drastically, and the temperature also, due to the rate decreasing drastically, the temperature also has increased.
Look at the map, the graph carefully before you interpret. Temperature is increasing. Don't look at the local, this one. Local minima, don't look at. Look at that. Your trend line is increasing now.
Okay, like that.
Your interpretation has to be better. Is it increasing or decreasing?
It's increasing.
Then it is not correct what you said. What is the loss of forest in Western Ghats now?
It's
What
25%.
percentage?
It was 37%. Our carbon sequestration was 25%. 25%.
Then I didn't understand that implementation part. That why that image is in that middle.
Yes.
No, implementation. Go back. Go back. Next. Here.
So,
What
this
is the, why you wanted to put that ice?
because this is what's actually seen outside. So the benefits would be benefits.
This is you created?
And then this is all the hard work that happens, and these are what's seen by the ordinary people.
Because you can do it in the different way, or because we are telling about the forest area. Okay, forest, This is the feeling like ocean. You can understand the situation. So, this one you please. Another thing, please avoid the unnecessary words, then sentences and all the things. Please focus on the ecotourism and the carbon sequestration. But I didn't get the ecotourism places in Western Ghats. Where are the places? Then at least you can bring the wildlife sanctuaries. A lot of things are there, no? You didn't bring like that. Then the carbon sequestration also, that values didn't come here.
How much carbon is stored per year in Western Ghats? It is there in the paper, which you read. 38,000 gigagram. Okay, you read that paper also. Okay, fine.
And for the graphs, you have not mentioned the sources.
So, no, last page.
Not the last, even here, because you have taken it as it is, you have to mention in the small fonts.
Okay, like under.
Yeah. And like she mentioned, we would like to see like which are the areas where ecotourism is happening currently, and what is the carbon emissions because of tourism, and also how much of plantation is required to sequester that carbon. Some numbers you have to give. It seemed more like very general information on the top. We are just touching it through the surface.
So I have to focus on more on
If it is too difficult to do the entire Western Ghats, take only one state, or one region and then work on that?
That's right. All the research is from Kodaikanal. It's a place in Tamil Nadu, right?
Yeah, but I didn't see much about Kodaikanal in particular.
See, you didn't talk about participation, you didn't talk about deforestation, as far as Kodaikanal is concerned, ecotourism, and how ecotourism has been implemented.
How many tourists visit Kodaikanal per year?
So about 2 lakh, 12 lakh.
Source?
It was some organization there.
So that you could have spoken. Because of that, how much carbon emissions happens? And with the green cover in Kodaikanal and the population there, can it be sequestered? Is it enough, or how much more is required? If it is required more. Okay. So you understanding, right?
Yeah.
You need to be specific about the area that you have selected and dive deep into that. On the top, won't work.
Then please keep in your mind only 8 minutes. That is also in the presentation
You
of
should keep in mind, you are coming to India of Science, where content matters. Okay, we look at the content. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, respected jury. I, Bilekahalli, grade 9, Presidency School, Bangalore South. I'm here to present my research and project of about a year and a half on the following 2 topics. The inability of urban children to recognize the flora and their immediate surroundings, which is my main research project. And while collecting data and researching this topic, what emerged became my secondary research topic, the effect of non-native plants on an ecosystem. In my opinion, these 2 topics are closely intertwined, and if the current generation of children have to become change makers, they must be made aware of what is present in their surroundings and the impact it is making on the environment. They can then make smart decisions in order to protect our precious earth. To begin with, I would like to ask any students present in the audience if they can recognize the following trees on screen. Anyone, it doesn't matter if it's like no one on the top left corner like this. And this one will be a mango one, the willow one, and that one, jack. So she guessed the 3 trees correctly, but the order was wrong. So like you said, the first one was neem, the second one was jackfruit, and the third one was mango. So that is exactly what I'm trying to prove, that the neem, jackfruit, and mango are such essential parts to our daily life, and like our diets and our medicines, and maybe even our livelihoods may depend upon it. But if we can't even seem to recognize these trees, then it's pretty bad. And India is such a diverse country with a variety of crops and climates, and learning to understand these can help us lead healthier, simpler lives just like our ancestors. Let me now introduce you to my problem statements. So problem statement 1, the inability of urban children to identify local flora, especially if they are geographically mobile. And problem statement 2, non-native species often disrupt ecosystems by outcompeting native species, altering habitats and spreading diseases. So it all started with my own inability to identify basic trees and plants in my daily life, even when I was about 8 or 9 years old. A complete lack of interest in understanding nature was changed overnight when our school eco club organized a 3-day study tour to the Western Ghats. The way our teachers and mentors took us and made us fully involved with nature both during the day and at night was a life-changing experience. So the objectives of my study are to foster curiosity about the environment, nurturing eco-conscious explorers and conservationists. It's to attract children to learn with the help of technology. It's to maintain a systematic register that is interactive and can be used exponentially. It's the integration of nature-centric And there were as many, if not more, students who weren't aware of the names of trees as you were. The trends in recognition also continued to be very similar, and the maximum number of students were able to recognize me. And whereas as they went through further questions, the number of correct answers went down. The shocking and honestly kind of sad part was that the guava tree, a lot of children thought was an apple tree, and they considered people tree as puja tree. I do agree that the people tree has a lot of connotations in the Hindu culture, but that should hardly be the identifying factor of the tree. So this formed the basis of my case study that I took up in my school to create an app that would help the children of my school identify the trees on our campus. So my study area, my campus, is pretty diverse in the number and species of trees. We have 26 species of trees or 77 trees on our campus. So to build a prototype app, I decided to take the pictures of 4 random trees from all angles and train my AI to recognize these 4 species. The 4 species I have taken up are mahogany, African tulip, flame of the forest, and Hong Kong mountain. And I used my knowledge of coding and AI/ML to create this app. There were 45 pictures taken for each specimen from all angles to avoid any kind of bias in the model. So let me now take you through it. So this is the homepage of my app, and as you can see, it's called equivalence, and there's a small loading bar that shows the progress of your app. It opens up onto the main menu, which currently has 5 features: equivalence, ecolog, eco area, eco rec, and eco gallery. So equivalence is the main feature of my app. So this is right. So equivalence is the main feature of my app, and you must first take a picture of the plant or tree that you want to recognize. So this is the AI model that scans your tree, and it responds with what it thinks is closest to your picture. As you can see, my model has about 98% accuracy. I've taken a picture of African tulip, and there is a small eye icon right here next to the name of the tree, which also gives basic information about the tree, like its medical use, its scientific name, its other uses, and other kinds of information. And it also includes whether it's a native or non-native tree, which I'll explain why it's important in my second blog post. Then there is a feature called ecolog, and it is used by students to log trees that they may observe in their campus or when on a nature expedition. The teachers can use this to grade students at the end of the year based on the number of new trees they observe, and serves as incentive for students to interact with nature, and is an excellent way for schools to integrate it into their curriculum. Now, if you add a new tree, you get +5 points, and if you remove a tree, you get -5 points. Now, in order to verify that a student has indeed observed so many trees, the eco gallery feature exists, where students can take photos of the trees they see and store it on the app without taking any storage from the phone's gallery. So these are 2 pictures I've taken of African tulip. This is the camera icon. You click on this to take the picture. If you want to go to the previous picture, next picture, and if you want to delete the picture. So eco area, this one, allows people to set up new databases other than our school alone, including other schools and apartment complexes, so that the database of tree identification continues to expand. So to show you how it works, I have made a list of all of our Presidency group of institutions, all the schools. And if you want to add a new area, you can click on the plus add new area. EcoRec allows students to check with ChatGPT and Google regarding any basic doubts they may have regarding, say, the scientific name of the tree. It has to be very basic, because ChatGPT makes mistakes, so it's imperative that the information be verified. So how would it work? So due to the paucity of time, I'm not going to show the real-time working of my app, but I would be happy to show you anyone interested later. So now I'd like to share my recommendations regarding the app. So it can be easily integrated with existing school curricula, fostering research-based hands-on learning from a young age, and can be linked to 15 assessments to children. It's an app that ensures safe learning for all age groups, and it's an AI-based image scanning for detailed species identification. It's an interactive social platform centered around flora, and has specialized focus on immediate natural surroundings, promoting indigenous conservation and awareness. And it's a hyper-local app which is being built for us right now. So now, as I mentioned before, in my introduction, I come to my second problem statement. Non-native species often disrupt ecosystems by outcompeting native species, altering habitats and spreading diseases. So I'm sure a lot of you are now wondering whether there's any sense in being able to recognize trees at all, especially when you're surrounded by our gadgets 24/7. So did I. As a result of my primary research on our school campus, I realized the composition of trees were a mix of both native and non-native trees. This set me thinking if non-native trees had any adverse effect on the environment. Doing secondary and tertiary research, I found that it indeed does. It is very good to organize tree
completely changed the topography of that area as well as affected the economy of that area for some time. Another example of which is preserved tourism in India. So I wondered if there were any positive outcomes of planting non-native species, and I looked up these case studies, but all of them said pretty much the same thing. Basically, the common problems that are seen are that these trees compete with the native vegetation and destroy the ecosystem of that area. Also, in the case of trees introduced to bind soil, the root systems are often very deep and they end up depleting the water table of those areas. Common features of biotic invaders include their ability to reproduce quickly, lack of natural predators, capacity to outcompete natural species, and international partnership for biodiversity and ecosystem services. So, in conclusion, the positives obtained may be only part of the negatives implied by these non-native species. So, in some cases, non-native trees can have beneficial effects such as providing habitat or stabilizing soil in degraded areas. However, these benefits are often outweighed by the negative impacts on the native ecosystem. Even species that may provide good carbon sequestration in one area may end up wiping out an entire ecosystem in other places. A perfect example of which is the purpose in Bangalore, for example. These are some other case studies that I looked at which are from research papers. One of this is taboo and jacaranda, very common in Bangalore, but it causes a lot of health issues even in humans like asthma, cold, cough, allergies, etc. So it should be avoided planting. One good thing that was introduced by the Gujarat government was the banning of chloroplastics in Gujarat. It was done last year, and I believe it's this lack of legal framework and intervention that's the main reason why rampant planting of non-native species is taking place. So my objective was to understand why growing native species is important to the ecological balance of the area, and to understand how to maximize small areas by planting native carbon sequestering trees which are economically friendly to understand the impact of non-native species on the environment. So I again took up my campus of Presidency as my study area, and I tabulated number of species and other basic data as a sheet, as well as going to secondary and tertiary research data. The help of my teacher was used to look for species identification. So I'm almost done. So use of pen and tape was used to measure the height, and another to measure the width, and use of people with the camera for the height and distance calculated. So as I told you, we have 77 trees on our school, 26 species, and I'm very proud to say that 51 trees for us are native trees, where there are only 26 are non-native trees. So these are all the trees that are tabulated here, which are native and non-native, and this is the graph. So my recommendations are that local governing bodies must take a plant planting of trees very seriously, and understanding of ecosystem space and carbon sequestering ability of plants, natural and economic benefits of plants, highly restricted to understand which trees are most suited to grow in space. And this was also said by Dr. R. Krishnan of the TVRAMACHANDRA Research Institute that city administration does not consider what to plant where, and he proposes a plan that details the type of plants to be planted in those areas. And my app helps in the practical implementation of this idea. I'd like to conclude by saying Bangalore is conducive to planting with the right temperature, rainfall, and water availability, moisture, and climate. It's a transition zone, and local bodies should target higher survival rate and higher plantation rate. So these are my conclusions. Basically, I built an air power app to help children. I didn't have program that videos around this. So children are attracted to technology to also help them learn better. It is targeted at locations that are biodiversity hotspots and municipal clubs in India. And due to basic information provided about trees, conclusions can be derived as to where and how different species of trees must be planted in order to maximize the use of space and provide ecological and economical benefits while adding to the ecosystem itself. Okay? These are all my references that I took. I'd like to thank the organizers and teachers for guiding us through such a wonderful opportunity. Project, and I thought it would make sense to to show why an app like this is actually required. Because I know that people will ask me, I am going to become an engineer, so why should I know about what these are doing? I have to send rockets into space. There's no point in me knowing what they should be doing. So I'm trying to show why it's essential, why it's impacting us, and why especially school children should know about it, being the change makers of the future. There are people who are organizing Bilekahalli ceremonies and ordering so many plants that are ornamental and may not even be native to India. They are trying to conserve, but they are ending up degrading our ecosystem. That's why we need apps like this.
How you will bring Mangalore ecosystem to Bangalore?
Ma'am, I am not bringing it. It has already been established when they are trying to do lake restoration by planting monoculture trees. And that is not native to Bangalore. It's a very bad idea because it's causing a lot of health issues. And
Then why you put it in your slide?
I put it as a negative impact. I'm trying to show that these are all examples of negative, like people are planting it in order to restore, but they're ending up degrading the ecosystem.
Then who helped you to prepare this slide? You alone. Why your teacher is not helping?
Ma'am, I believe in doing my work myself. Whatever help I needed
No,
from her.
that's why a lot of drawbacks are there. First one, in your presentation, don't give too time to audience. Then your time will go. Only in the final presentation you have 8 minutes. Okay. In that time, you whatever you want to present, that you should present. Now you are taken the more than 13 minutes. Okay. So we won't allow in the there is the competition. Here it is not a competition. That's why it's okay. That is you please keep it in your mind. Then another thing. Here there are a lot of case study. Here one case study, that is Presidency School of Bangalore South. Then last a lot of case study 2.3.1 like that. It is not the way to represent the, you wanted to represent the literature thing, that put it as a table, like whatever studies are there in the which countries that is happening. You can put it like that also. Then another thing, that in the your app, no, what all data, what are the sources you are data sources you are used, that is come to the materials and that method what you should bring. Here you directly come to that app. Don't do like that. Okay. Here we have the one format, that introduction, then objective of your study, then which particular area, that is the materials and method, that study area will come. Then in that the what are the data are you used, that it will come. Then it will, then in your objective you didn't in the first part that you didn't mention that you wanted to create the app. That is the main objective, no?
That's what I meant by the second point, but I was
No. You please rewrite your sentence. Then another thing, that pie chart, I didn't get any idea about that pie chart. These are all the pie charts.
can I explain it now?
No need. Please, you will. Maybe I am here. I couldn't see that properly. You please that font size.
What
No,
does
you
that
please
color
increase
indicates?
that color.
You know the
Legend.
pie chart.
Yeah.
Legend is missing.
That graph also, that legend should be come.
It's not visible.
It's not visible to us because
See,
that
we cannot see the color there
yeah.
in the bottom. Only the words are there. Huh?
So we please increase you that size, font size, and then whatever project work you are doing, it is okay. You can your own work you can do, but you please consider your respective teachers also. Okay, because we are given the format to them. That is the good. We can take elders that suggestions also is good. No,
I showed it to
yeah.
them.
Please do it like that. Okay.
See, we have been repeatedly telling everyone to follow the format because that will help you to present in a very nice way. Okay, and like he mentioned, combining two projects is okay, but it should not look like two different projects is presented at once. Okay, you have to combine, and there has to be a nice flow between the two. It can be done because both are interlinked projects, but only thing, the way you presented it looked very two distinct projects. And the second part where you have documented the trees of your campus, that came well after the bell. Which means within 8 minutes you were not able to complete, and that looked very interesting with the data that you have first hand collected from the ground. Right, so that if you had followed the right format, your result and discussion of both together will appear here.
So then I tried doing it together, but then it became very complicated to explain. So like I thought it would be
No, you rework.
like combine it.
You rework. I'm sure it will. I mean, I am getting ideas, even though it is not my project. So I'm sure you will get a lot of ideas if you put it together. Okay. Then reference format, you have not maintained it properly. So reference format, you have to put it in the appropriate formats. Then please do not read when you are presenting. It's your project, right? So you have to explain than reading, okay? And in many places where you have mentioned scientific names of trees, it has to be in the actual format. That means it has to be italicized. Okay, please look into that. And those graphs what she spoke about, that is related to your survey that you have conducted for the different class groups, right? I think it would be better if you put all the bar graphs of 3 different groups together and the pie charts of 3 different groups together. That will make the comparison a little more easier. That's all from my side.
See, you were there for the earlier session, no? When Bileka talked about mapping. You could have incorporated that idea, no? Google camera with the distribution of trees and also some photograph of leaves, etc., which you could have used as a for training your this one, no, algorithm. The photographs and of the leaves and other the morphological features. See, morphological feature plays a decisive role, no? The flowering, fruiting, all those things we can include. See, that Google camera will give the location wise. Then along with that you can put the leaf, etc. Then probably your school will become a model school for the entire Bangalore. Nowhere else it is done, okay? Try to do that, okay? That's an interesting work. Okay. Thank you.
I'm Rishit Chandra of class 9B, Presidency School, Bilekahalli, Bangalore. So today's topic today's topic is ants in Bangalore.
Left.
So now let's go on to the introduction. So ants, one of the most versatile. Good evening, everybody. I, Rishit Chandra of class 9B, Presidency School, Bangalore South, will present you on the topic ants in Lalbagh, Bangalore. So let me give you a brief introduction about ants. So they are one of the most versatile and interesting insects to know. Now imagine you being one of the most strongest insect and one of the most deadliest insect species to ever walk on this planet, and yet being restricted to either being vegetarian or carnivorous. That is why they are most interesting, and their survivability is quite interesting to know. So now today's objective here is to find out the different ant behaviors over the period of 4 months in Lalbagh. So first of all, we're going to see the methods and materials used for this particular project. So as you can see, the map here indicates where in the yellow mark used is for the steady area which I have used for this particular project. And the materials used are the endoscopes, which in the next slide I'll show. This is one of the similar models which I have used, because the one which I actually used is not quite the same model but somewhat of the same model, because it's quite old and I wasn't able to find it on the internet. Secondly, So next I will go on for the sample collection method. So here you don't, it's not much. You just place the endoscope near the nest of the ant so that it does not affect the ecosystem of the ant that much. And the species identification methods are quite easy, because ant species that are recorded here are quite easy to recognize. Experimental method is leave the endoscopes near the nest and keep it there for 1 or 2 weeks. Then here are the species of ants which I have documented here. First of all, we have bullet ant. Speciality, Their stings are like bullets piercing through your skin. Then our godats. One specialty about this is that they don't use much of native, instead they use more of range units. Then we have slave makers, which use mostly the larvae of other ant species, colonies, which they use as their own first workers in their own nests. Then next are the leaf cutters, mainly of three sizes: minor, medium, and major. Two fun facts about these types of ants. One of them, the major ants, the largest one, have a third eye at the center of his head, which helps them see right in front of them, since their eyes are on the lateral sides of their head. Then the second one is that the jaw power has 20 more power than they have at its base. Then we have trapjaws. Trapjaws are mostly that type of ant species whose jaws are designed to lock onto its enemies and keep them at hold while the other ants help to kill the insect. Then we have weaver ants, which use the silk of their own larvae to increase the size of their own colony. Then we have fire ants. Fire ants have two specialties. First of all, their bites. They're equal to the bites of fire going inside you. Secondly, it's basically a ram which can be made by them in order for the queen to stand out in the case of a flood. Then we have army ants, which are quite recognizable and quite similar to the leaf cutters. But here, army ants are more carnivorous and more dominant. And they have a type of adrenaline which helps them go into rage mode during fights. Now let's go on to the actual data which I have collected. So first of all, we have the first month, June, which I have collected. So bullet ant right now, in the first week, have gathered the resources and expanded the nest significantly over the period of 1 and 2 weeks, the first and second week. And now in the week 3, they have come in contact with the leaf cutters, and no such other data have been collected over time. Week 4, they are starting to adapt the wood and nest, reason why I'm going to tell you why. Wood and nest are now, in the first and the second, the week 1, they have met and nest, and they increased the number of range students and expanded their territory significantly. Week 2, they have came in contact with the slave maker in near starts war with the slave makers. Then in the week 3, they have recovered from the attack, and in week 4, they have gotten their real persons and were able to heal. Slave makers, first of all, in the first week, they were scouting the area of the godats, and in the second week, they were able to take the larvae from the godat nest in the second week. Third week, they kept pushing front. In the week 4, they made contact with the army ants, which were newly made nests there. Fire ants were collecting the resources and being protected due to the monsoon season, and they started to help the bird ants in the second week of June. And in the third week, we can see that they have pushed back the slave makers significantly so that the bird ants would recover from the attack. And in the week 4, they have continued to gather the resources for the monsoon. Leaf cutters had the final harvest before the monsoon season. And in week 2, they helped the bird ants from the final, bird ants and in week 3, they have the godat and the bullet ant to push back the slave makers in the third week. And in the fourth week, they have covered all the entry and the exit holes for the monsoon, most of them. Trapjaw ants have moved into the new nest because of their old nest getting destroyed from the slave maker ants. And in the week 2, there was not much progress. Week 3, they were starting to make a good way to the bird ants to help them for the colony. In the week 4, they started to help the bird ants and push back the slave makers. Now we go on to the weaver ants. So weaver ants started to build their own new nest and increase the number of their ants number in the week 1 and week 2. Week 3, they decided to destroy the nearby termites present in the tree, and week 4, they developed more units to destroy the termites. Army ants were non-existent in the first 3 weeks, and in the week 4, they came into the new nest after they got wiped out due to the slave makers. Now we go on to the next 4 weeks. Now, here is the last week of June, which I have documented, where bullet ant has got very large amount of calories to trap jobs. Now, Mr. Week 6, they have retreated to the nest to protect from the monsoon. And week 7, they started to borrow out of the nest and got more resources after the first monsoon. And week 8, they fully borrowed out, showing overconfidence. Bird ants started to take control of the battlefield, and week 6, they got flooded. And there was no hope of recovery. Week 7, the nest got revived surprisingly, and week 8, they took control of the tunnel which was made by the slave makers. Now here comes the part. Slave makers retreated back the army to the nest because of the first monsoon, and then week 6, they dig a hole towards the bird ant nest because they now realized that the nest got flooded, the bird ant nest got flooded. Week 7, they continued the work on the tunnel, ignoring their own resources present in the nest. And week 8, they got ambushed by the bird ants which revived themselves. Now fire ants decided to stop helping the bird ants and went back to their own nest to block off all of the extra entrances present in the nest. And in the week 8, they cleared out the insects present inside the nest. Leaf cutter ants covered up all of the extra holes, and the first monsoon harvest started in the 6th week. Number of ants increased, and week 8, second spring harvest started. Rapture ants retreated back to the nest, and in week 6, they cleared the insects present inside the nest. Week 7, they took control of their own nest, and week 8, they took complete control of the surrounding areas. Weaver ants started to continue to stay neutral throughout the whole week and continue to expand the nest. They took control of their own surrounding areas and the resin compost present inside the tree. Army ants continued to make new improvements into their own nests and ignore the slave makers. They continued to make their own nests throughout the next weeks, and they started to grow media ants in the week 8, which are significantly larger than the minor ants and smaller than the majors. And week 8, they made majors. Now we go on to the conclusion. Till today, the ants which are already existing present had already made an alliance without these slave makers. Because as we can see, slave makers were pretty predominant and had already had by almost wiped out the colonies. Slave maker ants had already, as I said, they had already wiped out the black ant and the army ant colony and the trapjaw ant colony. Black ant completely with the army ant queen and the trapjaw ant queen able to escape. Weaver ant were completely ignorant and reluctant till now. As soon as one of the colony of ant got disturbed, the other alliance ant colony started to help that friendly colony. Now next I'll tell you about the references. So first of all, for the methods and the identification, I used DoMyOwn.com, and since not many photographs were able to be taken, so I used one of the I used Alami.com to take pictures of the slave makers. Thank you.
Very nice story you narrated, which is suitable for making a documentary. Now you tell me how this entire data that you have collected is supporting the ecosystem. I'll rephrase my question. Which sub-theme under the Lake Conference will you put this project under?
So this will help us to give more information about how behavioral studies are, how the behavior of ants are, open ants.
Is there a theme like that?
You can ecosystem services.
Yeah, that's right.
You can rephrase the thing. You can. That's what you are thinking of. See, and second thing, no, in our department there is a museum, insect museum is there. You can visit and you can talk to Dr. Teresi, okay? She will also help you in the.
I have one.
One second,
You have documented it very nicely. Okay, but your observations are good. You have like sir mentioned, you are missing the ecological role of ants. Each species, because of their behavior, there is a role that they play in the ecosystem. Yeah, that has to be highlighted more. Okay, because you are presenting in Lake Conference, that is required. Next, introduction, point number 2, I did not understand properly.
So it's basically like you might know what people in the audience might actually refer themselves as the ant. that quantity, so that they know what is what, that they know what is.
Okay, I think while explaining you said something else which did not make any sense, ma'am.
No, actually, when you write introduction, everyone should understand. You know, that second bullet is not very clear.
Can you tell me the source of this map?
Sir, at the beginning of when you enter Lal Bagh, there's a map there. So from there I took it.
Okay. But I think you can make a map because I am sure you have not covered the entire 240 acre. Have you? In each of your visits? No. So where in Lal Bagh did you actually go and cover? What was the habitat type? What was the type of habitat? And each ant colony you have taken photographs, right? That also you can add. Like this was located in this particular location. Like that you can showcase that in the map. Okay? Then again scientific name. You have to either make it italics or underline. Usually while writing we underline. For the PPT you can only make it, don't underline. Just italics is enough. Okay? Then you have to really improve on the font size. I was moving around the room to understand what is there on the slide. Okay, so please, you can have multiple slides, that is okay, but ensure that it is visible.
We can group the thing based on the thing. You can group which are the thing, similar job they do. You know, based on the behavior, you can group them and then say that.
Burrowing ants separately, tree-related ants, arboreal ants separately, like that you can separate it. Okay, that way it will become.
For example, ecological services, we said no. Burrowing ants, we call them as a farmer's friend. No? You should use that kind of thing so that.
I found that. One thing here only, that this is old data or present data? Old data or present data?
This is basically the brief data which I have gotten from the recordings of the got from the university. The brief,
I couldn't hear.
He has used endoscope to understand all this. So it is first hand collected by him.
Then how you can write the weeks of July to September?
I'm supposed to be June, but
No, that is September is next month, na?
this month. So that's the period which I'm going to go ahead with. I still have to document the rest of the data which is there.
He is telling he will monitor till September.
I'm going for week wise.
After the conference, he will show like this.
Okay, then another thing, endoscope I used. How come that? You please don't write like that. Okay, please tell to your teacher help and what I told to your friends also, na? Rewrite your PPTs and all the things. Then you should bring the introduction part. Why you selected the ant study? That ecological sir told na, that ecological importance of that one. Okay, then some are, then your ants, some are like the sweets, some are like the organic degraded thing and all na. You please bring that all the things. Please work on your data, then it will be very good. Because this is different subject, no? That's why.
Right now you are highlighting how the ants are interacting with each other. If you do ecosystem, then it will solve the problem.
See, and also some are so important from medicinal point of view. You know that consume mainly for that medicinal properties. Okay. And there is a therapy also, ants therapy. People go and get it done by ants. Okay. If there are some species which you have come across, you can highlight that also.
And species names you just verify once again.
Yes, ants database is available online. No?
Sir?
Ants database is available online. No?
Sir, I wanted
With
to
morphological keys, etc.
Sir?
With morphological keys, ants database is available online. Please
Ants
check
of India
that.
is there. Book is also there. You can refer any of those.
See, your effort is good for your age, okay? But try to improve that. Okay, so you all have done your presentations. We have given the suggestion, we have criticized. That is for you to improve the lesson, okay? And today, if I go strictly by today's presentation, okay, 1 or 2 projects get cleared for the Lake Symposium, okay? But we are not going to do that. We are hoping that you will improve, okay? And what I suggest the teachers to, I request the teachers to do the evaluation before you send a list to us. The project which are chosen and the students who are chosen, you have to send us the list that you have to make sure that your students have really understood the project and they are doing well, okay? This is a unique opportunity for the children because there are international experts also will take part in the symposium. You get a lifetime, for some of you it would be a wonderful experience, so you should not miss that. Okay, for that you have to prepare well and come. Okay, what we will do is we will wait for your teacher's evaluation, and when can you give the evaluation report to us, teachers? How many teachers are here? All the teachers are here, representing respective schools. Vidyanjali, this one BGS, KVK, okay. Then Vidyanjali, then okay, Presidency. Then what about okay, Sai? Okay. So then you will take the responsibility, you will evaluate and you will send us the list. Okay, as I said earlier in the morning, you are all invited to the symposium. If you want to do the presentation, your teachers have to send me the list saying that you are good to take part in the symposium and do the presentation. That commitment has to come from the teachers. Now what I noticed is some of the kids, there is not much interaction with the teachers. We can make out from the quality of the presentation. So I don't want that to be repeated, because when you come there, you will be representing me at Indian Institute of Science there. So I don't want to have a bad presentation from Bangalore students. So please keep that in mind. There is a responsibility on your shoulders to showcase that we are good students, okay? That you have to keep in mind. And sitting in the auditorium and talking is not permitted. Today also I was telling you, and couple of times I was noticing that, okay? The Presidency, you people should learn how to be in the classroom, okay? If you want to talk, you go outside and speak. Don't sit in the auditorium and disturb others. See, when you sit here, it will be very irritating for us to see that, listen, you are showing disrespect to the teachers as well as your institution when you do such misdeeds in the classroom, okay? Using a mobile is not good in the classroom, and talking is not good. If you are slightly not active, you just go out for a while and walk back. I have no problem with that. But sitting and chatting is not permitted in the classroom, okay? With this, I will talk after a few minutes. I request Riju to add anything if he has...
Okay, good evening to all of you.
Good evening, sir.
So after the orientation we are meeting today, and it is great to see all of you present, but like sir mentioned, the expectation was slightly higher. So that is why there is a little bit of disappointment, but it's still not late. We have given you the feedback, and you have enough time to work on those feedbacks and improve your project. And whatever instruction is given, we have written down in our evaluation sheets. Okay, so when you come next and present or send your PPT, we will compare and see if you have made those changes. If we don't see those changes, we can ask you not to present. Is that clear? So it's not like we all have come here because we don't have any other work to do, and we have listened to you the whole day and given you feedback. We have noted it down, everything goes on record. You can see that in both the halls when you were presenting in the morning as well, it was recording. All this will be uploaded, and it is a proof that we have given you some feedback, and what feedback we have given, everything is noted. Okay? I hope you have also written down the feedback that was given to you so that you don't forget. Because as you go out from here, it all flies away from your head. If it is there in the form of written document, then you can always refer back to it. Is that clear? So we understand there is an exam also in between. So you need to plan how much time you are going to give your projects now itself, and how much efforts and time you are going to give, that much better your project is going to be. Okay? Last minute, tomorrow is a presentation, today I will sit and work. That will show when you present. Okay? You think that we might not catch you, but we might have marked you down for it. And you would not know about it. So please put in the work, and those who have put in the work, that also reflects here. Okay? So ensure you plan well in ahead. Don't wait till the last date for sending the PPT is announced and then start hurrying up. Because in hurry burry, your project also will be not so efficient. Okay? And once the deadline is given, please submit your PPTs by that deadline, and after that, no changes are entertained. Okay? Which is why 4 projects today, you came and told us that you wanted to give the updated PPT because there was no, it was not accurate. You made last minute changes. So that is not acceptable. Whatever deadline is given, you have to submit it by then. Is that clear? Because we have things to do looking at your PPTs, we keep it ready, and some order we would have fixed. After that, if you change again, the copy paste and everything takes time, right? See, you are staying beyond 3 o'clock. Yes or no? So if we have to maintain time, even you have to give everything in advance so that we can save time in all those things. Is that clear? In case your PPT, you have used some data that might change with change of systems. Because if you are using a different version of PPT and what we have in system is a different version, it might become difficult. The text might go here and there. The alignment might change. The graphics might look very different. In that case, please convert it into a PDF. If you have lot of animations or graphs and things like that, if you have done a lot of artwork in your PPT, please ensure it is visible, all the text is visible properly, and convert that to a PDF document and then share that. Is that clear? And most of you had missed writing your class in the title slide. Please ensure your title slides have the class mentioned. Okay? Because we have the list here. There also they might have the list, but then there will be some confusions. So it is better if you mention that so that you are marked according to your grades. Is that clear? Then maps, very very important. We have taught you how to make the maps, and still we don't see the 5 components of the maps which Tulika ma'am had explained. Okay? If you have still doubts in that, that video is there in the resource that was shared. Again, I will share it, or Cincy will share that link in the group, which all teachers are there, they will share it with you. Is that clear? Go to that, in the reference materials, there is a video available. So the same video what you have listened to, the live session what was there, that video is available. Go back to that, sit in front of the system, whatever steps she is asking you to do that practically on the system for your study area. That becomes easy for you and you can follow those instructions step by step. It's as good as somebody teaching you there. Right? So, next time we expect completed maps. Okay? And then third thing, the format. We don't want to keep repeating ourselves, so please stick to the format. There is a reason why we have given the format. Once again, we will share it in the text format in the group. You please adopt that into your PPT. Now, we get questions saying, introduction we have given just 1 slide. What if your content is a little bit more? You can have 2 introduction slides, that is okay, as long as you don't exceed your 8 minutes mark. Is that clear? And your methodology, if it is not fitting into 1 page, like he had stuffed all that information into 1 slide for the ants, you don't have to do that. You can take an extra slide, that is okay. Alright, but make sure it is clearly visible. What if we judges were sitting somewhere at the back? It definitely would not be visible from there. So we don't want you to lose marks unnecessarily. Is that clear? Stick to the time, first bell, start concluding. That is an indication for you that your time, you just have 2 minutes left. Here the bell was at 8 minutes and 10 minutes. There you will have the first bell at 6 minutes, second bell at 8 minutes. So after that, today we allowed you to continue, but that day we will not allow you to continue because the number of projects will be very very high. Here just 1 cluster this is. There the entire state would have been there. Right? So it would be difficult for us to manage time, so we will definitely not allow you to go beyond 8 minutes. Clear? Any questions you all have?
we are given the
Evaluation deadline.
After this we will tell.
okay, we in our group we are given the format, PPT format and poster format also. Another thing, that we are given this study material, then orientation program. In that based how to make the map, then how to identify the species, how to write the species name in scientific way, then what are the reason, that water quality thing, what are the reason, what are the parameter, what are under the physical and chemical thing, that everything we are given. In the evaluation also is based on that. You will come with a different PPT, we won't allow. Okay. You please format to the that format, and the orientation why we did know that you how much you understood in our recording. Okay, you are not attended that orientation program. Please go. He will show you the place. Then please see once more based on your subject, bird subject or butterfly or water quality. Everything it is there. That PPTs are there. Okay, please do it. Then please come up with like that presentations also. Whatever here the judges are given the suggestions, please include that one. Otherwise, then next time you will come and asking us, ma'am, I did like that. Then why my mark is gone? You didn't do the proper way. Then your mark will go. Please keep it to your mind. That's why we are telling the study area should be like that. In the species identification, species name should be like that. This is the simple things, but this is the scientific way. You should come up. You can go through these slides with the other place. We don't have any problem. But in our conference, this is the format. That format, who all are following, they will get the mark. Okay?
Okay, children, I have a couple of things. One is, please avoid copy paste. Please do not use the content from the net and prepare your slides. We are not here to look at the copy paste this one. Okay. Second is, don't get excited with the terms like artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning without even understanding the concept. Okay. Even today, after so many years of the thing, my first student talked about machine learning 20 years back. But even today we are hesitant to do that. But please keep that in mind that as a school children, please restrict yourself to your level of knowledge. Without knowing the thing, just because the content is available online, I do not want the unnecessary things discussed in the thing. Your presentation, I told you that, okay? Please, and I think a similar thing happened in that room also. Water quality through the deep learning.
Algal blooms.
Algal bloom, deep learning and all. What is the deep learning in algal bloom? They have left or not?
Students are not.
Students. They have gone. Okay. Now, you see, this is the web page where we are going to, this is our group web page. There is a Lake Symposium is available there. This web page address is wgbis.ces.iisc.ac.in. When you click on Lake Symposium, you will go to the Lake Symposium. About the symposium is there on the left hand side. Okay, your left hand side, my right hand side. Okay, and here students and teacher corner is there. We have put the reference material, that what we have said that you can refer the books, ETR 77 and all those things. Okay, my village document, neighborhood documentation, etc. And also our reference material videos we have put, wherein, for example, about birds, Rijula's presentation is there. Similarly, the Chaturvai's presentation on butterflies is there, plants by G.R. Rao. Like each thing we have put it, and then since his thing on fish, okay. Then the pre-lake conference, what we had, you are into pre-lake conference?
Yes, sir.
That is the pre-lake conference, what we conducted, the orientation program in various schools. We have put all our slides there, okay? what presentations we have done school wise we have put, okay. Then next is that orientation, this one, evaluation. See, this evaluation session